So in this video, we are going to talk about the measurements of good copywriting. And so in order for us to do that, let's first think, what could those be, right? Why are we writing copy? We are writing copy to persuade potential customers to take action, right? So what are the two first things that we need? I want you to think about it for a second and try and figure it out. So first of all, we need to get their attention, right? And then once we get their attention, we need to grab their interest and move them to the next step so that they can take action, right? And so when we are writing copy, most people thinking about ads, but by copy, we mean also the copy of your landing pages, the explanation of your products and your additional benefits and services, and basically communicating your value proposition, right? So the copywriting measurements that we most frequently use are, of course, first of all, the CTR. When talking about ads or any marketing messages, the first thing that we're looking at is the CTR. It means that our ads or messages have managed to capture the attention and interest of our audience, and they have taken the first step already, right? So now they are probably on our landing page or engaging with some of our content, and they are basically on our website engaging with our brand. And so then the next big thing that we need to look at is the conversion rate, right? So how many of those did we manage to convert? And again, this would be the measurement of the second copy. So if the CTR is the best measurement that we use for our ads, the conversion rate is the best measurement that we can use for our landing pages or product pages. And then, of course, we can also have different goals like engagement metrics. For example, how much time did a customer spend on our website researching our products or our company? And this can sometimes be important because, as you will remember, we talked about the fact that we can't just sell our product with one message most of the time. And so that's why what we care sometimes after the CTR is not directly the conversion rate, but the engagement metrics, so that we can get a higher conversion rate later on, because we can have different remarketing messages and add a bit more information and uncover more of the story, peel the layers of the onion, and give people more information about our product and our value proposition, right? So then other important metrics which are much harder to measure are understanding and influence levels. So what this means that when we engage customers with our brand, we need to ask ourselves the question, how much of our value proposition did they actually understand? Which are the pieces that they get and which are the pieces that they don't get or don't understand? Now, usually the best way to figure this out is to talk to customers, but we can also try and measure it by using different conversion rate optimization approaches like content impact testing and many others, A/B testing and so on. And of course, we can also test our messages, because when writing copy, it's very important to consider that even though your first message can have successful metrics, let's say you have a great ad and that ad has a very high CTR, but then it's not aligned very well with your value proposition. Let's say that, for example, you are selling very nice, very shiny apples, and you promise the customers in your ad that they're going to get the best apples ever, and that they are the shiniest, the biggest, and the most beautiful apples that they can ever get. But then on your website, you are just selling normal apples, and the image of your apples does not present them well, and you don't have a good convincing argument of why your apples are the best. or sometimes even we have a big discrepancy where people are trying to use misleading messages and trying to hide some important pieces of information just to get people to click. This is what we call clickbait. And then once people click, they hope that they can convert more of them just because they will have more traffic or more visits to their website. But then that just leads to a low conversion rate and to spending a lot of money for advertising, which does not bring you very good results, because in the first message you are supposed to set the expectation. And even though you are fighting for a high CTR and you want your ad to be as successful as possible, sometimes over-optimizing the ads by adding, misleading information and things that are misaligned with your entire journey is not a good idea. And so that's why we are trying to have a consistency between the ads, what we promise in the ads, what we actually provide in our landing pages, or also what we promise in our landing page, and even then what our product actually provides and the value that it gives to customers. So this is why it's very important for you to try to align these metrics together. And so the last one that I want to talk about is create power. So create power is very, very important, especially in content marketing, because you don't only sell. Most companies don't. When you sell a product, you do make a sale, but you also acquire a customer. And so now you want this customer to become a part of your creed, or your following, or your audience, and whatever you want to call it, just your network of influence. And so then the measurements of create power are connected to how much influence and power do you have over your customers, so that when you present them with something new, when you offer them something new, they are going to be ready to buy it immediately. So the question of that is, how much do your customers trust you, and how much are they ready to follow you and basically do what you ask them to do. So this is where create power becomes very important when we start talking about growing an audience, growing a customer base, and so on. And the good way to understand create power is if someone came to you and asked you to promote their product on your audience, and then the question would be, how much money would you ask of them to do that? So let's say that you are selling, for example, cameras, and then a company that's selling lenses comes to you and says, hey, we believe that we can be partners, and how do you feel about promoting our product? And then they ask you to advertise their products or promote their products to your audience. The question of create power is, how much money would you ask of them? That's one good measure of it. And then also, if you have a new product and you just promote it to your existing audience, how much money can you make from that? So that's what we mean by create power. All right, so usually I talk a lot about measurements, but that's enough. For copywriting and content marketing, we're just going to focus on this for now. And so that's it for this video. And in the next video, we are going to start talking about the key concepts behind copywriting.